Good morning. My name is Jody Cook. I'm the head of gene therapy strategy at PTC Therapeutics. I was formerly the COO of Agilis, and at the end of August, we announced a merger with PTC, and I'm happy to say that we are now fully integrated into PTC. Here's our safe harbor statement. PTC Therapeutics is a rare disease franchise. We have a global footprint, and we have marketed products in the US and around the globe. Today I'm going to talk to you about our gene therapy platform and where we're headed with that. We have a broad pipeline. Our lead indication is AADC deficiency. That is a mutation of the DDC gene, and we're heading to a BLA filing in 2019 for that indication. We have a broad pipeline in orphan CNS diseases. Our second indication is in Friedreich ataxia, then Angelman syndrome, and we have a number of other early stage indications that we're working on. In all of our lead indications, we have orphan drug designation in the United States and the equivalent in Europe. And our lead indication also has rare pediatric disease designation. Let me tell you a little bit about our strategy. Our gene therapy platform is differentiated and scalable. We've selected disease characteristics that are amenable to gene therapy with cells that are not dividing and have large treatment windows. We've used what we call targeted microdosing. We're going to do an extremely small dose just into the location of the brain where it is needed. That helps us reduce our cost of goods and improve our manufacturing. The immunogenicity, we do direct CNS targeting, again, helping to eliminate some of the issues with the immune response. And our commercial model is going to be a center of excellence model where we can target pediatric neurosurgeons, and the neurologists can refer into those centers. Let me tell you a little bit more about our lead indication. We're very excited with the data here. It's in the aromatic L-amino acid decarboxylase deficiency, or AADC deficiency. This has a mutation in the DDC gene, and in other words, what happens is you're missing the AADC enzyme, and that's absolutely critical to making dopamine. So to make L-dopa to dopamine, you need AADC. In this disorder, they have no AADC, therefore they have no dopamine. Currently, there's no treatments available for this indication for the underlying cause. A little bit about the clinical course for this. This is a devastating rare disease. If children have no dopamine, they have no ability to move. Normally, you go through the cycle of developing milestones. These children do not. In this case, they have trouble feeding, they have failure to thrive, they never gain head control, they never sit, they never walk. In the most severe form, these children pass away in the first decade of life. It's not specifically from the disease, it's from the comorbidities. Obviously, if you can't feed well, you aspirate, you get pneumonias, you're often hospitalized. Very devastating. We're using a CNS targeting. We do a direct brain injection to the putamen bilaterally. Extremely low dose, 1.8 times 10 to the 11 vector genomes total. It's based on a very well-established neurosurgical procedure used for deep brain stimulation, and it's been adapted for pediatrics. We have dosed our first patient in 2010. We have 26 children on therapy that have in a safety profile with all 26, very safe. We have three clinical trials ongoing or completed, and we're looking at functional improvements across all the children in all the trials, and we're looking at very durable results. And so I'd like to share some of those with you. This is a video of a child pre-treatment. He's 2 years old, and as you can see, he has no ability to move on his own. He has something called an ocular gyrate crisis, where it looks like a seizure. He's in distress most of the day, and that's what you're looking at right there. This is the way they look regardless of their age. One single brain injection to the putamen bilaterally, 1 year post-treatment. Here's this child now at age 3. Now he's developing like a 1-year-old. He's 1 year post-treatment. He's made a remarkable recovery. He can sit. He's developing fine motor scores. He's able to feed himself. He's out of danger. The aspirations are not an issue anymore for him. 1 year later, at 4 years of age and 2 years post-treatment, again, he's taking advantage of normal physical therapy, occupational therapy, and like any typical toddler, he's trying to put things in his mouth that he's not supposed to. So he's making an amazing recovery. Let me show you one more child. Here's a 2-year-old that has a feeding tube, as you can see. Again, this is the way they all start, and they would remain this way regardless of age. They do not develop because they have no dopamine. 1 year post-gene therapy, now this little boy is 3 years old, and he's made an amazing recovery as well. Very active. They put a helmet on him because they didn't want him to have a head injury because he runs around and falls down. Playing peekaboo, able to interact with his caregiver, and taking advantage of all those therapies that are available to him. 2 years post-gene therapy, now he would be 4 years old. And he's developing fine motor skills. As you can see here, he's going to push himself up to a standing position. And then just 6 months later, a video that was sent in to the examiner from his parents. He's walking and very, very proud of himself being able to do this. We have these videos on all of the children that are in the study, and they all make progress. Every child, we have 100% response rate. A little bit on the data. Here's some of the data. These are 1 year on the right. You're looking at the PDMS-2, which is a motor development scale. We have multiple motor development scales, and in all cases, as you can see, everybody makes a significant improvement. It doesn't matter the age of treatment in this case. They all made motor gains. So we have a 100% response rate. Younger looks like they make it a gain faster. So obviously we want to target treating younger, but certainly we've treated up to 8 years of age and they still made significant gains. Something that's very unique here is that we have 5-year data. So not only are they making gains, our data over 5 years shows that those gains are durable or they continue to improve. Remember, these children just learn to develop, and so as you add all the therapies in that you would normally get, they continue to develop over time. We also have, although not shown here, we have 7 children that are 5 years out. We have 3 children that are 8 years out, and they continue to have durable responses, which is going to be very important for all of us as we start talking to the payer and the commercialization of product. The other thing that we have with the targeted microdosing and the extremely low dose that's required for this treatment is we'll be able to quickly scale from a clinical trial environment to a commercial environment. If you look at the number of children around the world and the size of the batch that we need to make, it's very easy for us to flip from the clinical trial environment to the commercial environment. And we are well on our way with that with our partnership with Mass Biologics in Massachusetts. So in summary, we are in a near-term BLA submission. We're targeting we will be submitting that in 2019. We've had meetings with FDA, and we have the clinical data of the first 18 of our first 2 clinical trials is sufficient to submit for the BLA. We are working on writing the modules and pulling it together, as well as transitioning the CMC from the clinical to the commercial supplier. And we're running through those processes right now and feel very confident that we will be able to file the BLA this year. We're not looking to change or make any substantial process improvements. We don't need to switch to a different strategy because, again, with our targeted microdosing and only treating the cells that are important for this disease, we're able to do that. As we think about launch and our commercial preparation, we've actively started launching on the patient identification, not just in the United States, but globally. We are also planning to build out our centers of excellence, and we're targeting various neurosurgeons, pediatric neurosurgeons around the globe, and then a referral system into that as well. So I'm happy to say that we will be submitting our BLA next year. Thank you. And I will be around for the rest of the conference if you have any questions. Thank you.